AK says, I have a question about burnout recovery. What's the best way to keep boundaries and heal after burnout? What did you how did you burn yourself out? What did you do? Work? And now you've have you quit the job altogether, or just sort of less hours, stuff like that, and work some more in a really toxic place, but I can't quit? Why not? I'm not American, so for immigration reasons. Okay. So you have dealt with the burnout somehow? So you're not that much burnout, so like less hours or something? Okay. And now you say you're struggling to keep boundaries after the burnout. What do you mean by that? Took rest and put up strong boundaries. Boundaries towards work, towards friends, what? Everyone just expects you to work non-stop. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's the system. Work pressure is crazy. I don't know. That's why I quit everything. I do this now. And for me, I needed to make a lot of sacrifices. So if you don't wanna work so much, it's possible, but you have to sacrifice a lot of things. For example, I got all my clothes. I don't buy myself like clothes. I don't go to concerts. I'm just in my apartment. I do graphic design. I do these lives. I do one-on-one psychotherapy sessions, human design sessions for people. And I walk in the woods. My diet is very simple. I don't eat things that are outside of what I actually need. So I'm just trying to tell you that if any of you people feel stuck in a job and you think you can't afford to be without it, you actually can, but it takes a sacrifice of things that you are maybe accustomed to. So I had to sacrifice maybe traveling, I had to sacrifice going to the movies, things like that. So many of the things you can actually cut back on and still lead a happy life, just so you don't have to work so much. Maybe you don't have to end the job fully, but you can get less time. Maybe you can go part-time, something like that, and then get more rest time, but then less money, of course. Anyway, so you asked me about, so anyone that's asking, I'm gonna get to all the questions. I don't skip any questions, so just drop them and just stay patient and I'll get to it. So don't worry. So what's the best way to keep boundaries and heal after a burnout? So yeah, so make note of, maybe if you were in the job, make note of all the things that, if it was a physically demanding job, what parts of your body were mostly used and overused, and then work on stretching those parts and exercising the other side. For example, if you were hunched over a lot, then you have to work on your low back, your glutes, your hips, your abs, stuff like that. If you were at your desk like this for 9 hours every day, After that, you have to work on your shoulders, you have to work on your neck, you have to establish good posture again, stretch. So physically make note of how the burnout affected you body-wise, and then work on that. Emotion-wise, if it was pressure, then if it was time pressure, then you need to do more things that are purely nature related, because nature doesn't have a clock. I mean, the sun goes up and the sun goes down, but there's nothing like, oh, I have to be there by this hour or whatever. Like when you look at nature, there's no rush. So if your work was pressure based, time pressure based, I would advise to go on like really long walks in the woods, and really slowly walking in the woods, like really mindful of every step and just looking around and just like the total opposite. Like there's no rush. Like give yourself 4 hours in the morning or in the afternoon on your days off, or even when you're done with your work. So you want to contrast the work environment, and the work environment is quotas, deadlines, you have to work, and pressure. So you want to do activities that have nothing to do with that, to get the feeling of you want to get a baseline of your body being in your rest and digest state, your relaxed state, so you can easily realize earlier when you start the burnout. So burnout happens when you don't when we don't set the baseline for our body, what it means to be optimal, what it means to be restful, what it means to be in a good emotional state, what it means to be in a good physical state, good mental state. And then you go into this job and you work on like 150 capacity, 150% capacity, and you don't know it's over your limits because you never take the time to explore what your 0 point is, what your baseline is. And your baseline is basically like sitting in the woods, no cell phone, no clock, no agenda, no schedule, and just breathing and looking around and just and relaxing your eyes, and like there's nowhere to be, there's nothing to do, it's just me and this jungle and the birds, and the more you do that, the more you will more easily pick up on your boundaries that you say. You have to remind yourself what your restful your baseline is with these nature things. So for burnout, I would advise long walks in nature, a lot of sunshine, a lot of away from the city, at least in a park, at least next to some river, just sitting down, turning off your phone, turning off everything, going alone, and just sitting there and just nothing, just a big nothing, just nothing. Just you and nature and your breath and your thoughts and whatever. You can bring some music, but nothing that's hard on you, straining on you. And then just look into the trees and look into the water and just nothing. Just relax the face, relax your body, and just breathe. And do that on a regular basis. And the more you do that, the more you will become mindful of what is your natural resting state, your rest and digest state, because burnout is mostly like chronic anxiety, stress that you are not even aware that you have stress. So the first thing is to find your lowest point, find your most restful, most relaxed point. So then with the nature, I always recommend any type of yoga, any type of qigong, tai chi, slow movement, slow dancing. You can come on Friday, you can come on my movement meditation. I do Monday and Friday here on Inside Timer. I do a guided movement meditation, and it's for the elements, and we do a lot of this somatic, slow movement, so you can come to that. What else for resting? Get some good herbs in you. Get some ashwagandha. Get some St. John's wort. That's good for rebuilding nerves. What else is good for? So ashwagandha, definitely. St. John's wort. Get some mullein. Mullein is good for breathing. If you're too hard on yourself pressure-wise, make some tea out of those herbs. So yeah, coming back to who you were before all this, or who you are when there's no time pressure, when there is nothing to do, and when there's just nature around you. Like I say, if time pressure is the biggest thing that you had on your job, you have to go to a place where time is irrelevant, and that would be the forest, that would be the jungle, that would be the river, that would be the mountain, where there's no clock, there's no boss on you. There's like the birds okay, birds follow magnetic fields and magnetic lines, and dogs know where to take a shit based on magnetic lines. But there's no clock, there's no like, now in 15 minutes, come on, otherwise your survival is in jeopardy. That's only society. So build a stronger connection to earth and to yourself, to your, to your center.